One of the drivers of the much talked about economic diversification is expected to be tourism. The terms tourism and hospitality are correlated and sometimes grouped together as a single industry. However, hospitality and tourism are two distinct but overlapping sectors. Tourism is defined as persons traveling outside their usual environment for less than a year to accomplish their business, leisure, and increasingly medical purposes, while hospitality is the provision of the accommodations, venues, meals, drinks, and so forth to those people who are out of their homes. The world over, hospitality industry has provided high yields and returns to investors, being an important part of the development and economic emergence and attractiveness. The hospitality industry in Nigeria is worth approximately $3.5 billion, depending on who you're asking, and still growing and changing. Hotels, restaurants, airlines, entertainment, and tourism industry worldwide are operating in a rapidly changing environment. In the 1970s, hotels and airlines were enjoying services backed by independent, specialized reservation companies. By the early 90s, travelers had started booking hotel rooms and airline seats sitting in their homes without having to visit offices. By the late 90s, travelers were paying for their hotel rooms and buying tickets, e-tickets, online, courtesy of internet facilities. At the beginning of the 20th century, innkeepers around the world were offering beds to wayfarers in single location, small inns. By the middle of the century, it became commonplace to have hotels to have many branches in different locations, offering bigger facilities, heralding the era of mega international hotel chain companies. So what are the dynamics that will be changing the hospitality industry in the next few years? Valentine Ozigbo is here to help me make sense of it all, and I want to thank him very much. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Madeleine.
He's the CEO of Transcore Hotels PLC. Let me tell you a little more about my guest before we get down to our conversation. Valentine Ozigbo was born on July 20, 1970. He got his bachelor's degree in accounting and MBA in banking and finance from the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. He also got an MSc in finance with distinction from the Lancaster University, United Kingdom. Mr. Ozigbo worked in the banking sector, gaining over 17 years of experience with Nile Merchant Bank, Diamond Bank, Continental Trust Bank, FSB International Bank, Standard Trust Bank, United Bank for Africa, and Bank PHB. He has been Managing Director and CEO of Transcore Hotels PLC since October 2011. Valentine Ozigbo is a Fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, a Fellow of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, and that of the Institute of Credit Administration. He was also a British Chevening Scholar. Mr. Ozigbo, tourism drives the economy of many African countries, east, north, south, west, from Kenya to Morocco to South Africa to Senegal, even Ghana. According to the World Tourism Organization figures for international tourism receipts, South Africa earned about $9.1 billion in 2015. Ghana earned about $911 million in the same year, while Nigeria got only about $470 million. How can Nigeria get a bigger piece of the pie?
Thank you, Madeleine. Let me actually start by saying a lot of times some of these other countries you've mentioned may already have a better way of capturing their data. So I like to also even question the data acquisition in Nigeria. There are a few things we need to do to get tourism right. And it starts from commitment, from the leadership. If you go through the tourism, the master plan that's been discussed and policies that have been put in place, there's no execution. Execution means looking at those policies, putting the right money where they should be, developing the right products, supporting the private sector to play their role, because if you want to get it right, it must be led by the private sector. And then over time, you begin to see, of course, taking care of the softer issues. And what I mean by softer issues about training, capacity building across the entire chain, from the travels down to the taxis, down to the hotels, down to the products, the sites to be visited, and every single thing tailored with the mindset of making money and providing the quality service and getting everybody comfortable and safe.
Hotels clearly will be playing a big role in the attainment of those projections. Does Nigeria have enough hotels?
Even if Nigeria does not grow, we don't have sufficiency right now. How much more you're looking at a very extremely dynamic environment. The growth in Abuja, for instance, is the fastest in Africa. And in Lagos, it's not sleeping at all. And if you go to other markets, the other cities like from the southwest to south to north, every single part of Nigeria, you are experiencing growth. Urban migration is also on the uprise. So there is no reason to even imagine that we're anywhere near where we should be. So there's a lot of gap. The reason Nigeria is not even attracting the type of conferencing for engagements that we deserve to, which should be the fulcrum, the hub for conferencing in Africa. The reason it's not happening because we don't have enough accommodation. And so, and I'm glad also, if you look at the pipelines of hotels in the whole of Africa, Nigeria actually tops, is where every single brand want to establish, from the luxury to the 5-star to the middle market. So that shows that the market is there and yet to be exploited.
While this is true of every business, your industry relies entirely on customers being happy. And one of the most defining aspects of this is that it focuses on customer satisfaction. What other things make a good hotel?